Hello, everyone. Scott Spalding here. I wanted to come on here and give y'all a few tips and tricks really quickly about how to use AI more effectively in your life and your business. Now, one of the things that I wanted to cover was how to prompt a little bit better and a little bit about custom GPTs. So, one of the questions that I get asked all the time are, how can I use AI for my life and for my business? And one of the first things I always point people to is prompting, because how you communicate with AI is how effective of a response you're going to get, or the results that you're going to get. So if you use very generic prompting, you're going to get very generic responses. And so it's not going to be an effective tool for you. But if you can learn how to prompt correctly, then you can turn this AI, this tool, into a very strategic asset for your life or for your business. So, have a few tabs up here at the top. So, for those of you who have OCD, you're welcome. But just the other day, I posted a free guide on how to prompt a little bit more effectively. So, if you'll go to the AI on a Budget Facebook page, go to the very top where it says Files, right up here at the tabs, right on, near the discussion and media and featured and all that kind of stuff. There's 21 prompts to save um, entrepreneurs 10 plus hours a week. And when you click on that, it will go into the multi-page report. I don't remember how many pages this is. Let's look and see. Uh, Quite a few. Anyway, so we'll go into what prompting is, why it's important, how you can become better at prompting, and then it also gives you examples for each type of prompt. So whether it's the expert role prompt, which is one I use fairly frequently, hook, uh, hook and headline generator, content repurposer, carousel. So there's quite a few different scripts and prompts that you can use and enter into um, a variety of different platforms. So I'm using ChatGPT right now. This is a just a generic chat for this tab. I also have a custom GPT that was created for prompt generating. So I can just basically ask it any questions, then it will generate a prompt for you. And then I can take that and enter it into another custom GPT prompt. So this third prompt that I have has been trained to act like a group of board members for iconic companies like Apple, Nike, Google, McDonald's, Pixar. So there's quite a few that are iconic brands that have entered into here. So, um, like I said, most people that I talk to, they don't really know how to prompt correctly. They just use AI basically like it's a search engine. And so they'll ask it a basic question. I have an AI business. How do I build my brand? I recently started my AI business not that long ago. And so I wanted to ask this question. I wanted to kind of test it out. What are the kind of results I'm going to get from a generic chat versus some of the more customized chats that I've created? And just for your information as well, ChatGPT has the ability to be able to customize these AI assistants called GPTs. Google also has the ability to customize what's called Google Gems. And basically, whether you're on OpenAI or ChatGPT, or you're on the Google platform, these are just AI assistants that are generative, conversational type AIs. They're not autonomous though. So I've created another custom GPT that will allow you to design and create a autonomous agent on another platform. So that's a whole other complicated story, and I'll go into that a lot later on another topic, another video. But for this one, we're just going to stick to the simple prompting and why prompting is important. So I entered in, I have an AI business. How do I build my brand? So it gave me a decent response. It's going to tell me some basic information. It's going to tell me, you want to create a mission, vision, and values. target audience and niche. You want to find that out. You want to differentiate your brand and your brand promise and create a personality, tone, and voice for your business, and so on and so forth. And so it gives me 5 different categories, which is pretty good. It just gives me some generic information, though. Doesn't do any deep diving or give me any detail or any very specific strategies or tactics that I can use specific to my business. So I wanted to see what my perfect prompt creator would say. And so what I do a lot of times is rather than trying to think of my own prompt to come up on my own, I'll actually ask the prompt generator, um, generate me a prompt for XYZ problem or task, or this is my goal, or whatever I'm trying to accomplish. And so I got a little bit more detailed and I gave it context. Now, one of the prompting strategies that I recommended in this 21 prompts that you can use, it's a free guide again. You can find it um, in our Google platform. So um, or Facebook page, AI on a budget. So just go to files and you'll find it there. But I gave it, it already has the role. I gave it context. And then one of the big things that's like a gold nugget for prompting is tell it to ask me any questions. So this is, if I don't enter that in, it's just going to give me one result. But I want it to deep dive. I want it to find out more information so it can give me a much better result and response. And so I had it ask me some questions. So it gave me a pretty good prompt here. It gave me some background and all this information I would enter into this other custom GPT or wherever else I'm going. Maybe I want to create a graphic or a fashion makeover photo on Google Gemini. I can come in here in this prompt generator and create a prompt there, and I can take it to Google Gemini and enter it in there. But I'll show you how to do that on not only my training that's coming up. By the way, the early bird special, the early bird pricing ends today. Tomorrow, that pricing goes up. After the course ends, then it will go up to $149. So I want you to take advantage. That's why I have the early pricing. That's why I still have that time frame of up until the end of the course. I want you to take advantage of some of this information that I've learned, some of the tools and the strategies that I've learned to be able to apply this to your life and to your business. So I asked it to generate a prompt, but it came back and asked me, who's your target audience? What is the price for your course? What are your platforms? What is your brand personality? What's your visual branding, like your branding palette, your colors that you use, your voice, that type of stuff. So, and then it said, I'm going to go ahead and create a chain of prompts. Now, this is another strategy that you can use when it comes to prompting. You can create different stages or different chains of prompts in order for it to ask you sequential questions. So ask you one question, then you answer. Then it asks you another series of questions. So just like a line of questioning that a lawyer would have during a case or during a deposition, this is going to ask me more questions so that that it can dive deeper into what goal or what task it is that I'm trying to ask it to accomplish. So I answered those questions, and now it generated 5 different prompts. So we can deep dive every single time. Now it's going to prompt and then ask questions, prompt and then ask questions. So this is going to give me a tremendous evaluation of what my brand is, what I'm looking for, what my products and services are, what do I sell them at, what tone or voice and personality am I trying to create here. And so I'm going to show you the result that I got. Now, this is just from the first prompt. I haven't entered in the other prompts. I don't even remember if I've answered any of the questions, but this iconic board gives a little basic introduction. Same thing with the perfect prompt creator, gives you a basic introduction to get you started. In ChatGPT, you're not going to get that. You're just going to start off and it's just going to hope that you know what you're there to talk about. And so it doesn't give you any direction whatsoever as you begin. So, but I already had my direction. I already knew that I wanted to enter in my prompt. So entered in my prompt, That's all the information. Remember, ask me any questions you have. And here's what it gave me. So it told me who are the brands that are activated, Disney, Apple, McDonald's, Nike, Pixar. And so it's going to give me a response based on those specialists within this AI assistant. So my mission is to create world-class AI tools, strategy, and learning. I'm sorry, to make world-class AI tools, strategy, and learning accessible to the everyday dreamer, even when life is anything but predictable. Now, if you'll remember, I didn't get anything like that whenever we did our generic prompting. Much more detail given to me. Core values, this is what we stand for, our brand personality. This is a narrative that we can use, the busy hero. He runs into burning buildings, then comes home to build prompts with his kids. A firefighter by day, dream builder by night. This founder shows what's possible when hustle meets heart. Much better prompting or responses. So even kind of gives me some brand name and slogan ideas. The prompt hero, the vital spark AI, everyday AI, slogan options. So color palette tells me exact colors that I can use in order to create my brand and create that specific style that is for my company that I'm building. So much better response, like I said. And these are just the questions for this first prompt. Once I answer these, I'm then going to go in and add in my second prompt that I got from our prompt creator. So let me scroll down to that. So I would answer these questions. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that now if you've got time and want to hang around. So, do you want the brand to learn more tech forward Apple Google or more emotional forward Disney Pixar? Since we're going with the Disney Pixar theme, I'm just going to copy and paste this. More emotional forward. And I'm going to put question one, answer. Boom. We've answered that question. How prominent should the firefighter family life identity be across brand points? Let's say the firefighter family life identity across my brand is very vital. However, feel free to give me any suggestions that you have and to make any other ideas possible. Now, obviously, I could have done a better prompt there, just didn't have anything that came to mind at the time, but it's going to help me along the way. What are your top priorities? Course sales, GPT templates, consulting leads. Let's just go with course sales for right now. Since this course is active, I want to be able to promote this course right now. And again, this course, let's see, I may have the dates. I'll tell you the dates later. I'll put it in the post. But right now, early bird seating is $69. It ends tonight. Now the price goes up tomorrow, and that price will last until the end of the course. I believe the course is from the October 23rd through the 25th. So those are kind of tentative. I may add or take away depending on how much information I'm able to give out, whether people ask a lot of questions, that sort of thing. So I want to be able to give you valuable information in the course, not only train you on how to create your own custom GPT, because that's one of the things that I wanted to do is make sure that by the end of this course, you are able to create your own custom GPT. And I'll show in another video some quick things that you can do, but we're going to deep dive in the course on how you can create your own. I'm also going to give you a lot of free tools as well in the course, free resources that you can use, even custom GPTs that I will give you access to that you will be able to use to start your business. So, but the early bird seating ends tonight. Tomorrow it goes up, and then by the end of the course, it goes up to 149. So after the course is over, my price will go up quite a bit. So this is a really good opportunity for you right now to take advantage of this founder's pricing that we have for this how to build your business with AI. So going back to this, are you open to naming that's a bit abstract, vital spark, or do you prefer straightforward everyday AI? Um, uh, let's just say I'm good with either and see what it says. Would you like to like a consensus synthesis? Try to say that fast 3 times. Or individual POs from each brand strategist on the board. Um, Tell you what, I'm going to show you. This is what I do a lot of times is dictate. Let's get a consensus from all of the board members combined. So boom, that's going to add that in there. Oh, actually, I said I was going to add in my prompt. So let's do that. Prompt 2, copy and paste, and boom, there you have it. Boom goes dynamite. Um, so messaging pillars, the big hero. So as you can see, it's going to continue to give me more and more valuable information. So I hope you got something from this quick tip. Again, there's so much more that I have to teach you. I'm not going to be able to cover it here. I will cover a lot of it in more detail in the course, but in any case, I hope you got something from this. I'll keep adding more and more tips as we go along. But in any case, keep using AI, keep learning, and keep moving forward. Y'all take care.